resulting in a summary judgment against him, ending his 2-year lawsuit. United States District Judge Mary McElroy concluded, weighing the factors together with the instant circumstances, the court concludes that Mr. Swindell's use of the copyrighted material is fair. 3 of the 4 statutory factors weigh in Mr. Swindell's favour, and Mr. Swindell's use of the copyrighted material serves as a public benefit. Because Mr. Swindell's use of the copyrighted material is fair, the plaintiff's motion for summary judgment is denied, and the defendant's motion for summary judgment is granted.
You son of a bitch.
And so, how did all of this start? Kyle had a YouTube channel making videos criticising and commenting on Brendan's life and, in particular, his appearances across his podcast network. But Brendan didn't like this. He felt that Kyle's videos were too personal and crossed the line. For example, apparently Kyle, like many others, had drawn attention to Brendan exchanging numbers with other girls while being a married man. So on February 15th and February 16th, 2022, Brendan issued DMCA takedown notices regarding 4 of Kyle's videos. These videos had an approximate runtime of 4 to 8 minutes and contained roughly 50% commentary and 50% clips from the Fighter and the Kid podcast. Specifically, the episodes were 725, 726, 729, and 740, all from September and October of 2021 with durations well over an hour. Now, due to YouTube's 3 strikes rule regarding copyright notices, Brendan's DMCA takedown notices resulted in YouTube completely deleting Kyle's channel, which had approximately 20,000 subscribers at the time. But this is where it gets interesting and a little bit technical, so I'll do my very best to explain. In the United States, you don't get an automatic right to copyright of your work. You actually have to register it. In some other countries, if you take a photo or a video of something, you automatically have copyright over it as soon as it comes into existence. But in the US, for some reason, you have to register your copyright over that work. So when Kyle hit back at Brendan 3 days later with a counter notification to the DMCA takedowns, he actually caught Brendan off guard. See, the way it works is if you're a copyright holder, sure you can issue a takedown notice like Brendan did, but then if the other party hits back with a counter notification, which basically says I don't agree with this takedown, the copyright holder, which was Thick Boy Productions in this case, then has 10 days to prove to YouTube that they're actually taking legal action. And this is the interesting part, because so many people claim that YouTube's copyright system favors copyright holders, which is true to an extent, but once you get to the takedown stage, if you fight back with a counter notification, you basically force the copyright holder to launch a lawsuit against you. And if they don't do it within 10 days, YouTube will release the copyright claim, remove the strikes, and reinstate the channel to its original form. So this is where the whole copyright registration comes into it. Brendan couldn't file a lawsuit because he hadn't registered those episodes of The Fighter and the Kid for copyright. He didn't expect Kyle to hit back with the counter notification. He thought he could intimidate Kyle and that would be the end of it. That's why he had to scramble and register those 4 episodes of The Fighter and the Kid with the United States Copyright Office on February 22nd, and then file the lawsuit against Kyle for copyright infringement on February 28th, exactly 10 days after the initial DMCA takedown. Brendan just made the deadline. But then Kyle started to mess up. He didn't take the lawsuit seriously and he refused to file a defense. You see, he was self-representing, he didn't have a lawyer. Luckily, the judge granted him some leeway and allowed him more time to file a defense. Meanwhile, Brendan's lawyers were gunning for a summary judgment in their favor because the defendant wasn't cooperating. But Kyle didn't step up. He continued to troll the court and made almost no effort to defend himself. So the judge gave him one more chance. If you don't file your paperwork properly and lodge a defense, I'm going to go to a summary judgment in favor of Brendan Schaub. And then something magical happened. A lawyer appeared and started to help Kyle through a burner email account. Nobody knows who this lawyer is. He's a ghost lawyer. Even Brendan's legal team tried to have his identity revealed, but the judge said no. Kyle was still doing his own filing, so there was no reason to force this ghost lawyer's identity out into the open. He would go on to remain anonymous throughout the whole lawsuit. And that's when things changed for Kyle. All of a sudden, he was getting proper legal advice and he had Brendan's legal team on the back foot. See, Kyle started playing ball with the court, submitting his filings correctly, he agreed to all of the discovery, he turned up for deposition. Basically, he was cooperating with the proceedings, and Brendan's legal team quickly realized they didn't have a case. Their plan to intimidate him into settling or getting a summary judgment had failed. That's why in December of 2023, Brendan's legal team were desperately trying to get the matter out of court and back into mediation. But the defendant said, "No, I don't want to go back to mediation because I refuse to agree to any of your demands." At one point, Brendan's legal team were trying to get Kyle to settle for $1. But Kyle said, "No, we either go to trial or I want a summary judgment." And his hardball strategy worked. The judge went in favor of Kyle in a summary judgment a few days ago. Now, for those of you wondering what a summary judgment is, it's basically just a judgment without a trial. If a party to a lawsuit files for summary judgment and the judge decides that there isn't enough of a dispute for it to go to trial, then the judge can just make a decision at that point instead of having to take it through to a full trial. And so here are some of the important parts from the judge's decision. Because Mr. Swindell's reaction videos use the copyright works to criticize or comment upon them, rather than to supersede the work's original objects, the first fair use factor weighs in Mr. Swindell's favor. Since Mr. Swindell's videos are unlikely to function as substitutes for the copyrighted videos in their original and potential derivative markets, the fourth fair use factor weighs in Mr. Swindell's favor. And then there's my favorite part. Take a look at how the judge characterized the Fighter and the Kid podcast. The works at issue in this case fall closer to the factual end of the copyright spectrum rather than the creative end. The copyrighted videos, which essentially consist of three men in a recording studio with a few lounge chairs and microphones recording a podcast on current events in popular culture and their personal lives, and which are basically the contemporary analog to television talk show clips, and which include reactions to the copyrighted material of others, are more factual than creative. Let's just stop for a moment and appreciate exactly what the judge is saying here, because she touches on something that I've actually mentioned in previous videos about the podcasts that I cover. She's basically saying that the Fighter and the Kid podcast is not a creative work. It's not a song, it's not a music video, it's not a movie, it's not a TV show. Therefore, it's just a contemporary talk show. And here's the best part, the podcasts include reactions to the copyrighted works of others. Now, I've said this a couple of times before that podcasts like JRE, YMH, Bad Friends, take your pick, right? They all dedicate a substantial amount of time reacting to other clips themselves on their own podcasts. I mean, there's even a meme for JRE, pull it up, Jamie, because Rogan is always telling his producer to pull up clips so they can react to them. So now, finally, we actually have a court decision that basically says, stop being a bunch of hypocrites. There's no difference between what commentary channels are doing and what you guys are doing on your podcasts. You're not producing creative work, you're just sitting around talking about stuff just like these commentary channels do. And so here we are. After a 2-year battle that ended in disaster for Brendan Schaub, not only has he blown hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees, but he somehow managed to make himself look like even more of a redact than he already did. The funniest part in all of this is that Brendan didn't even know it was a copyright case. This whole time he thought it was a defamation case which has separate laws and rules. Take a look at his comments on the case over the last 2 years, and then I'll break them down for you guys straight after.
On February 23rd, you text Bobby a video clip some dude put together, a random YouTuber, of that same Trash Tuesday episode, talking about us being hit on by a comic. But with the clickbait title, Bobby Lee's wife confirmed Schaub tried cheating on his wife with her. You text Bobby saying, you've been harassed for 6 years straight, and you've had it. And you're finally going, this is a direct quote. You're finally going after anyone who harasses you online, including comics, that you have spent $500,000 on monster lawyers, and that you have friends in dark places who are going to get the job done. To which Bobby says, okay, I'll talk to Kalila.
that's the thing with like, you know, defamation of character, stuff like that. That's even like the narrative on me, which I don't talk about with, you know, I have a lawsuit against this YouTuber who's a small time YouTuber. If you don't know the background, you're like, oh, it's this guy who's big in the space suing this smaller guy. No, I don't give a fuck. If you want to criticize my fight pics or my stand-up, my podcast, that's what I'm a public figure. I signed up for that. That stuff does not bother me. But when you start slandering my name, stealing content, and creating this false narrative of cheating on my wife and doing all this crazy shit and the defamatory stuff and using content and the clickbait stuff like that for years, well, then we're not playing the same game, man. Then I have to do something. If you made an entire career off defamation, I have to do something. Several times I've had my team reach out and go, we don't want to pursue this dude, just stop. And he wouldn't. So what would you do? So this narrative that, oh, this bigger YouTuber is suing this other YouTuber for no reason to silence him. You know, I thought you didn't get down with cancel culture. I don't in any facet. This is different. You got to know your facts. You got to know your details. If you want to say, oh, he has the fight pics, or he's bad at English, or, you know, I didn't like his stand up. I think Louis C.K. is better. No,
it's fine.
That's all good.
That's fine.
But then when you start going down that dark road, man, you start going down, you know, these clickbaity things that are defamation of character for years, hundreds of videos for years. Well, now you got my attention. That's where this goes. Mm-hmm. I just don't talk about it. And the problem when you don't talk about it is people can jump to assumptions, go, oh, this bigger guy's trying to silence the little guy because he's critical. No, are you kidding me? I mean, people are critical. That doesn't bother me. Be critical. That's what I signed up for. But the defamation, now you got my attention. You start doing this evil stuff, I'm going to come for you, man. That's what's happening.
Yeah, when they mess with your livelihood, that's just going.
You start messing with my business, my family. Trust me, I'm going to come for you.
Yeah, you seem to be good at like just focusing on what you can control and not letting the negativity get to you.
I mean, I have to. Otherwise, you know, I drive my TRX off a highway, you know, off the PCH.
Flex. Yes. My TRX.
I mean, it's a Dodge truck. It's not much of a flex. You know, I didn't say like Lamborghini or nothing. It's still a truck. I'm a blue collar guy here. Yeah. So yeah, what else you can do? Stop? Quit? No, that's not me. That's never gonna happen.
But have you done anything to try to like suppress this or like get on top of it? Like it's just.
What do you? No, there's nothing you can do.
I mean, can you sue people? Have you tried doing any of that?
No, I mean we have a lawsuit with a guy who made like 3,000 videos. Again, if you're gonna critique stand up or my fight picks or my football picks, all good. That's what the internet's for. Now, if you're gonna go out there and defamation, like, you know, whatever, Brendan hits his kids or beats his wife, well, then you got my attention. I'm gonna come after you.
Oh,
yeah, that game I don't play, and the guy's suffering from that. So that is whatever. But you know, the internet's always gonna internet. There's nothing you can do to combat that.
Okay, that's enough, Bubba. Take a seat and listen. I'm going to finish off with some comments addressing some of the delusions we just heard from Brendan in those clips. And Brendan, if you're watching, you can have these for free. Here's the thing. This is something that the podcast elite, Hollywood establishment, and celebrities in general don't seem to understand. We don't need your permission to criticize the things you do or the things you say. It's protected by law, not by you. That is one of the foundations of free speech in the United States. So when Brendan says things like, you can criticize my comedy, my fight picks, and my opinions, that's all good, but when it comes to anything personal or anything that hurts my feelings, that's not okay, and I'm going to come after you. The judge even said in her decision that there is a big public benefit from these commentary channels. Now, I don't know this Kyle guy, I don't watch his videos, and if I'm being honest, it's not really my thing, but let's be crystal clear about this. Brendan, we don't need your permission for anything. You will do nothing, you can do nothing, so cop it on the chin like a man and keep moving like a shark. Even your boy Rogan gave you this advice 2 years ago.
You got to remember too, Rogan's like an older brother to me. When I do anything, I call Rogan. That's how I operate.
Right.
Yeah. I asked his advice on this, right? And then, you know, he would give me his advice, how I should handle it.
When you did tell Rogan your version of events, I just want to know, for my own peace of mind, did he believe it?
I don't know. To him, it's like, you're never going to beat the internet, man. I mean,
That's good advice. So why didn't you take it 2 years ago instead of embarrassing yourself and your family and wasting hundreds of thousands of dollars only to lose a lawsuit against a guy who was self-representing with a YouTube channel that no one's ever heard of? I mean, at one point, Kyle tried to play the race card during his deposition. This is what you were up against, Bupper, and you still lost. Even after you tried to take it out of court and back into mediation. You lost your lawsuit 2 years after you filed it, and it didn't even go to trial. Who loses a lawsuit after 2 years through a summary judgment? This is easily the funniest thing you've ever done. Oh man, the sheer delusion from this guy thinking that he was being Mr. Tough Guy, drawing the line in the sand and putting everybody on notice on the internet, as well as throughout the comedy community, that he was out for blood, that he had $500,000 ready to go with his beast lawyers, ready to take on anyone who was talking smack about him, only to lose in the most embarrassing way imaginable to a guy who relied on anonymous emails from a ghost lawyer. Honestly, someone should make this into a movie. It'd sell 10 times the tickets that The Machine did. Hey, it might actually turn a profit. So it's a sad end for Brendan, but a sobering message to the podcast elites who think they can threaten and intimidate us into silence. Beware the man with nothing to lose. Anyway, that's my full breakdown of Bupper's failed lawsuit. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Big shout out to my regulars. Thanks for watching. You always turn up for me, and that's why I love you guys. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider jumping on board so you don't miss out on any of my uploads. That's it from me. I'll catch you in the next one.
I'm a shark when it comes to business.
I went to Russia when I was 22. You know this story. And I robbed a train. You've never...
What?
Wait.
What?
You're the one person.
What?
Well, you know my nickname, The Machine, right?
No, Bert.
Are you serious? Oh, this is awesome. Sweet. Are you being okay? So yeah. So okay. Hang on.
Bert Kreischer's Machine story is basically his origin story. He's told it so many times now that apart from being a fat fuck who doesn't wear shirts, it's what he's most known for. It was recently made into a movie called, wait for it,
I've watched it 10 times.
but I guess we all have our quirks. So before I give you my take on his movie's flop, I want to give those of you who maybe don't know the Machine story a brief overview just to get you up to speed real quick.
When I was 22, I got involved with the Russian mafia. Here's how it happened.
The story takes place back when he was a college student at Florida State University back in 1995. He was a real party animal. Apparently he was at college for like 7 years. So one day in a Russian class that he thought was actually a Spanish class because he was obviously a massive dumbass, he heard about a chance to go abroad to Russia, and even though he was a shit student and couldn't read, write, or speak Russian, he thought it'd be fun and he'd get a minor in Russian as well. So he ends up in Russia, staying with a host family that didn't understand a word of English, and for some reason their tour guides were Russian mafia to keep them safe or whatever. So one night, Bert tries to impress them by saying something in Russian about slaying pussy, but ends up fucking it up and saying, "I am the machine." They end up loving him, and he drinks with them all night. According to Bert, they did heaps of gangster shit together. He even robbed all his classmates with them on a train to Moscow. They basically thought he was funny as fuck, and he partied hard with them for the rest of the trip. So it's a pretty funny story. He's got some good mileage out of it. Some people think the Machine story basically made his career, and he's been riding the wave ever since. So eventually it became a movie, which was released in May of this year. And here's how it happened according to Bert.
I was partying, and they wanted to write an article about this school, Florida State, and they called down, and they reached out to a bunch of people, and everyone said my name. And so, so the journalist stayed with me for like a week, and we just partied and had a good time. And then he wrote the article about me, and it changed my life. Like Oliver Stone optioned the rights to my life.
What?
I moved to New York to start stand-up, and when I was 26, I moved up
Oliver
there.
Stone optioned the rights to your life?
His company, his company optioned the rights to the article. So it's in essence, it was my life. And then I moved to New York to start stand-up. And then I started stand-up, and Will Smith read the article. I got a development deal with him.
Whoa.
And that's how I got in the business is this one article kind of changed my life.
So that's how Bert's Machine Story became a movie, but unfortunately it was a massive box office bomb. On a production budget of $20 million, it only made $10 million at the box office. And when you include marketing, the budget was probably closer to Rogan Universe. Let me explain what I mean, so just hear me out for a minute. There are a bunch of comedians who were doing well as stand-ups, but then when Joe Rogan had them on his podcast, their careers blew up. A lot of them were talented comedians anyway, so when Joe platformed them on JRE, it kind of made sense that they became so big. I'm not saying they didn't deserve it, but it's just basic maths. JRE increased their critical mass exponentially, so it stands to reason that if you're funny and you have good stories, people are going to look you up and start following you. And that's what happened with guys like Tom Segura, Andrew Schultz, Ari Shaffir, Brendan Schaub, Cringe, and the list goes on. But Bert Kreischer was one of them too. He even says so himself.
And then I'd tell it from time to time on like radio shows.
Yes.
But when I told it on Rogan, that was the game changer. Joe said on his show, and this is old school Rogan, he's like, from this day forward, he is only to be referred to as the machine, and you need to make him tell that on stage. And so I told it on stage for like 4 years.
But it wasn't just Joe helping Bert's story go viral earlier on. Bert actually dropped the first teaser trailer on JRE earlier this year.
Let's watch my trailer.
Oh, you got a trailer out for the special?
For my movie. You want to see my teaser?
Why is the machine?
The machine, that movie that we're not supposed to talk about?
We're just waiting for them to be Ukraine?
This is not your trailer. This is your teaser.
It's my teaser.
Let's see it.
And I'm not technically allowed to show this.
So what's happening? Am I in trouble?
No, you won't be in
but
trouble.
If we air this,
hold on, don't hit.
But hold on a second.
Hold on.
If we air this, am I giving up some intellectual property that is not legal for me to be disseminated to millions of people?
No, you're fine.
I'm a producer.
You own it.
I'm getting sued. I
No,
just
no,
heard
no,
that.
no.
I just saw lawyers in front of me going, "These are your options."
No, I sent it. I got this teaser a while back.
Why don't you
and
do this on your fucking podcast? Take the
that was
heat,
a good
son.
fucking. Oh, I thought maybe get the views.
Just as a side note, I think it's pretty funny how when Joe asked Bert why he didn't just drop the teaser trailer on his own podcast, Bert blurted out that it's for the views. Joe's friends using him for exposure is a whole other story for a different video, but Bert made it so obvious there, and you could tell Joe is kind of onto him. While I'm on this tangent, Brian Simpson was pretty shameless the other day at the beginning of episode 2006. Literally 17 seconds into a 3-hour plus podcast, he plugs his upcoming shows and his own podcast before getting into any meaningful discussion. Now, I'm a Brian Simpson fan. I think he's funny as fuck, but this was pretty shameless.
All day!
What's happening?
Hell yeah. What's up, Joe?
Good to see you, brother.
Glad to be back. Can I plug my dates real quick before I forget? Yeah, I'm gonna be in Denver at Comedy Works on July 13th through the 15th, and Levity Live in West Nyack, New York, on July 20th through the 22nd. Get those tickets on BrianSimpsonComedy.com.
Nice.
Listen to the podcast, BS with Brian Simpson. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah.
You enjoy doing it?
I love it, man. I love it.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I digress. I'll have to do a whole video on Joe's mates using him for exposure. But anyway, you might be asking yourself right now, well, if JRE has so much pulling power and they plugged it like no tomorrow across their comedy podcast network, how come it bombed so hard at the box office? I think the answer is most Bert Kreischer fans already know the story. He told it 1 million times and it's been going around for years. And for those who don't really know Bert that well, they might have seen some of his stand-up and think he's pretty funny, but they don't tune into his podcasts or anything. Those people probably just don't give a fuck. And unfortunately, I think that's probably most people. They might know who Bert Kreischer is from so much exposure across the podcast universe, but they're not prepared to go and pay for a ticket to a movie that's based on some random story from years ago. Don't get me wrong, it's a funny story and the movie was pretty funny too, but I'm not going to lie, it's kind of weird to make a movie based off one random stand-up bit from however many years ago, even if the original video has over 50 million views on YouTube. Even Bert himself admitted that it's a pretty random story that doesn't have a punchline.
And so I told her on stage for like 4 years, and then it got good. It bombed so bad.
No, hold on a second.
Bombed.
Are you serious?
So I'm talking a 13-minute story if I was tight. It was a 15-minute story, 20-minute story at times, to silence, crickets. I didn't have an end to the story.
What? Hold on a second. So the first, you said...
I could tell it to you.
Yes.
Like this.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
But in front of an audience of comedy club fans,
yes,
it would just...
Because it's a long
story, and they're like sitting there going, how long is this going to take? They were used to jokes at that time. Yeah. Podcasting changed everything. People wanted to hear stories, and I think I got better at telling stories. And then when I got it good, then I recorded it, and I once again, I didn't think anyone was going to ever hear it. I posted it on this weird time on the internet, like in between Christmas and New Year's Eve, where everyone was home.
Yes.
And it went viral and changed my life.
At the end of the day, I think Bert and his team overestimated the pulling power of his story, and it just goes to show that not everything Joe Rogan supports or touches turns to gold. There's a limit to what people are willing to do to have a laugh, and turning Bert's origin story into a movie was probably a step too far. I don't think it'll damage him too much though. It's probably safe to say his career as a movie star is over for now. He pulled out all the stops to promote this movie, and it didn't work. But he still has his stand-up career and his podcasts, which is what he should stick to.
I guess I'll be telling it at my funeral.
Well, I mean,
a hologram.
It's going to say, "Here lies the machine." Let's be honest, man.
I'm like, I have milked this cow like a closeted dairy farmer from the 1930s. I'm taking my time with it. Like, a hoof to snout. I have milked this cow.
Anyway, that's my take on why The Machine bombed at the box office. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments, or if you have a different take. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button and become a subscriber so you can keep up to date with all my latest uploads. I'll chat to you guys soon. See you in the next one.
All you need is one good idea. Kinda.
Yeah.
Like a t-shirt. Because it's hard to just sleep when you're tired. Because people are tired most of the time.
Gosh, I love you so much.
Oh, thanks.
Can I give you a hug?
No, thanks.
Please?
No, thanks.
A little one.
Yeah, no, thanks.
Oh.
That was a nice moment.
I don't know who that was.
Yeah, it was Kesha.
Okay. Well, I wish you the best.
It never gets old. Welcome back to another video, ladies and gents. Today I'm following up on something I said in a previous video, which apparently turned out to be controversial. I made a video recently titled Joe Rogan versus Jerry Seinfeld, and I made a comment in passing that Jerry's show, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, is cringe. And a lot of you didn't like that. So today I'm going to explain why I think Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee is cringe.
Lasted how long?
9 years, 180 episodes.
You gave it up, right?
I did.
They didn't cancel you. You canceled them.
You're not aware of this?
No, I'm asking you.
You think I got canceled? Are you under the impression that I got canceled?
Have I hurt you, Jerry?
I thought that was pretty well documented.
Is
this still CNN?
Don't most shows go down a little?
Most people do also. I went off the air. I was the #1 show on television, Larry. Do you know who I am?
You know, the thing is, we all know that Jerry Seinfeld is an arrogant prick. He clearly thinks he's a big deal and that his TV show Seinfeld was pretty cool. And to be honest, so do I. And that's what makes this whole thing so confusing. I actually don't mind Jerry's arrogance. I think it kind of suits him. And there's a very specific reason why. You see, Seinfeld isn't a grifter. Think about it. He's never actually asked us for anything. He's old school. Remember those guys who actually worked hard at creating good, watchable content and didn't ask us for money? Jerry belongs to that class of entertainer. He let his material speak for itself. Nowadays, we have an endless list of comedians and entertainers with podcasts who remind us every week how amazing they are and why they're so special.
But can I just say this podcast, Protect Our Parks, has some of the biggest specials around. Mine was huge last year. Shane's is going to be huge. Mark Norman's top 10 for 2 weeks on Netflix. We're just waiting for one more member.
Oh, you fucking hack.
When's this coming?
Where is it? I don't know. I haven't even thought about it.
What? Come on. You got an hour.
Because I've just been writing new material and fucking around.
All right.
That's probably a good move.
I'm so busy right now. I just like right now. I like doing whatever the fuck I feel like doing.
But Seinfeld's from a different generation. So I actually found a good test for you guys to see if you think he's just some arrogant prick, or if, like myself, you think it suits him and doesn't bother you so much. I'll play that for you at the end of this video, and you can let me know in the comments what you think. For now, I want to focus on comedians in cars getting coffee. Just quickly though, a big shout out to my ground level crew. I'm only able to bring all of you this content on the back of the support from my early subscribers. I fucking love you guys for letting me do what I enjoy, and I know not everybody can say that. So if you want to get on board and join the rebellion against Podcast Cringe, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any of my uploads. Okay, so back in 2014, 2 years after the first season of Comedians in Cars was released, Jerry did an interview with David Letterman, and they went into detail about the concept of the show, how they make it, and Jerry even brought a couple of clips to show how much actually goes into making the show watchable. So if you don't have a background in media production, this is actually really interesting just to see how much editing and Hollywood magic goes into making these shows.
Like when we did our show, or I did your show, how much video did we shoot?
We did quite a while. We may have done almost 3.5 hours.
Is that typical?
Yeah, that's typical. It seems to work. It's really weird. It seems to give me just enough. And I brought a thing, if I may, to show what, like the actual moment feels like and what we make it into.
So this is raw material?
Yeah, just completely raw, like 60 seconds. I think the first one is me and Bob Einstein. What really happened, because none of this is in the rhythm and the pace and the feeling.
Right.
So I wanted to show you a little bit about, what we're making out of the raw material. So I brought the raw material and the finished product.
Okay, and by the way, Bob Einstein, to my tastes, a tremendous choice for this. Maybe on the esoteric side, but nonetheless, here's a guy is just one of those guys.
Well, yeah, a lot going on.
Yeah.
A lot going on.
Okay, let's, where do we take a look at it here?
Yeah, can we roll that?
All right.
Were they the first couple to what?
Magnificent. Enjoy.
Thank you.
The first couple.
Well, who feels like an idiot right now? I'll tell you who.
Yeah.
Not me.
You don't feel like an idiot?
You do.
Why?
Because look at the crap you got, and look at the authentic.
Apparently, I'm at my restaurant.
It's not restaurant, it's restaurant.
So,
George Shapiro was so proud of me.
So.
Oh my God. That is fantastic. Please don't take your teeth out again. Watch them in the coffee and then put them back in. Please don't do that.
And I did it all for this, and all for this game, this whatever it is. I had my teeth taken out.
Just for the gag.
Finish anything for a laugh. So,
Oh, that is so good.
You won on this one. Yeah, you went. How good is that?
Please take half.
No. No.
If it's the last thing you do, we can be like Larry David.
No, I'm going to just try this. Okay, so.
If I try that, will you take this?
No.
So that was 2 minutes of unedited footage from Jerry's episode with Bob Einstein. Now let's see the final product.
Magnificent.
Enjoy.
Oh my God. That is fantastic. Please don't take your teeth out again. That is so good.
You won on this one. How good is that?
Please take half.
No.
It's the last thing you do. If I try that, will you take this?
No. All right, what do you want, a bite?
Give me that half.
You gonna take the whole half?
I'm just gonna take a bite and I'll give it
No,
back
I'll
to
cut
you.
it up and give
You're
it to you.
putting your hands all over everything.
You're
It's
goddamn
disgusting.
right I am. Well, you were gonna put your hands on my sandwich. Here. Touch my fork.
Now you're touching it again.
I'm very clean.
We're having a horrible day. People are funny here, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, and here is where you get the blowing of the nose after the meal. A complete head clear. It's usually this. Bing, wow, 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 and then it's this. Yiggy, yiggy, yiggy.
So you can see just how much goes into it. They use multiple camera angles and they edit 20 or 30 minutes into a 60-second clip full of fast cuts to mask the time that's passed. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you're into, no worries. It was a very successful show with millions of fans around the world. But it's funny. After Jerry played that first section, David Letterman low-key roasts him before moving on to the next clip with Sarah Silverman.
I have one more if you want to see it.
Yeah, do you mind if I comment on that one first? Sure. Okay. If that were me, the first one that we saw, the raw footage, at some point I would have done this. I would have wiped my mouth. I would have said, Bob, excuse me for a second. And I would have walked over to someone with the show and I would have said, this is not working.
Right. Right.
How do you know to hang in and keep going?
I didn't. When I did the first 10 shows, which is why I didn't invite you, by the way, because I didn't know or think that it would work. I was really a pure, just kind of a home garage experiment. It was a pure experiment.
And now that people have seen the show, your guests, do they know more about what is expected of them?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes them nervous because you watch the edited and you think, well, gee, I can't be that funny.
That's
But of
right.
course, nobody can.
Yeah.
It's when you compress it and put music and the little tricks that
All
we
right,
do.
what's the next one?
The next one is me and Sarah Silverman in a donut shop.
Sarah Silverman and a donut shop.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is not hard to look.
No, not at all.
This is about like I watch at home.
I would love, if you wouldn't mind, for you to give me a little opinion of different donuts. What you like and don't like and why.
I love it all, but I love this kind of, that kind of
That
thing.
little thing?
Oh, that little thing is so fried, right?
It is?
What is it? This is kind of like an elephant ear, like a piece of an elephant. Ofanson? Ofanson?
Sure, I knew that.
So good. But it's kind of like an elephant ear, but just a little piece.
And here is the fully edited clip from the Sarah Silverman episode.
They got some madness going on here, don't they?
Yeah.
What's the light colored chocolate? And look, and there's another one back there.
With a black coffee, and that is probably amazing.
And what are these?
I don't even
Don't
get me
even. Let's
started.
not
It
even.
doesn't look like
Come on.
anything on my body that's facing the ground.
What about these fellas here? Honestly, my favorite thing here would be this.
Arugula.
Sarah, what about this thing? Looks like a spice cake or something. We want to get some scratch-off lottery ticket. We want the $5.
Oh!
I don't know. I don't understand. If I get 2 words or 3 words, I get money. 7 words.
My brain is already shut down.
You don't say. Now listen, here's a fun little exercise for all you nerds out there. We know that these episodes have around 3 hours of raw footage to use, so to get it down to a 12 to 20 minute episode, how long do you think it takes to edit each episode? Make a quick guess, because here's the answer.
The editing process takes how long per show, an average?
Few weeks.
And do you have in your mind as you're shooting a script that forms?
No, it forms as you're watching it.
Okay, so it takes a few weeks to edit one of these episodes from basically the length of a JRE podcast down to a 15-minute show. Again, there's nothing actually wrong with that. Some of the episodes were pretty good. And think about it, that's how almost every movie is made, right? Well, not quite. Movies are scripted, everything is prepared before they turn the lights, mics, and cameras on. Comedians in Cars is basically a moving podcast episode that's so fucking boring they have to edit it down to almost 5% of the original length. It's fake, it's not real, they're not real conversations. They'll edit in all the good one-liners and use a reaction from a few minutes later to make it flow. They'll throw some music in and pretend like these guys are constantly just dropping sick jokes and observations because they're hotshot comedians. That's basically why I think it's so cringe. But like I said, Jerry's old school. He's a control freak. He became a household name through his sitcom in the 90s, which was much of the same, except that show had a cringe as fuck laughing track, so everyone knew when to laugh. I bet most stand-up comedians would love to have a laughing track follow them around everywhere. Even Jerry's style of stand-up was super tight and moved quickly. He didn't do those long setups and stories that we've grown to love from comedians like Dave Chappelle, for example. Not that there's anything wrong with that. So hey, if that's what you're into, good luck to you. I prefer the authenticity of an unedited, natural conversation where you're not constantly being told how to think and how to feel. We live in a highly produced and fake society these days with the dominance of social media and cringy reality TV shows, and they follow much of the same formula as comedians in Cars. It's the same shit. Now, remember I told you I'd play you that clip of Jerry to see if you think he's an arrogant asshole or if you, like me, think his arrogance suits him and doesn't bother you. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys in the...
I don't know anything. My team kind of handles everything. I just right
How
now
big's
the
your team?
interviews. 15 people at least.
That's so crazy. You've gone Hollywood in like a week.
It's weird.
Wow, 15
She doesn't
people.
even deal with it
Hollywood.
anymore.
Yeah,
she just
it's
tells
like-
people to contact her people now.
I always wanted to make a lot of money, so I would.
Are
listen
you
to him.
Are you making a lot of money yet?
I haven't actually seen any of the money because it takes a minute
Because you got
to
a
see
team
money.
of 20 people.
Yeah, 15 people
Watch
are
out.
taking their bite out of your
Everyone's
pie now.
taking
They're
their
all
little
eating,
cuts.
bruh. They all
No, that's
eating
not why.
good.
It's just that it takes 30 days. Well, they're gonna take their part, but even then, I think it'll still be a lot of money.
Okay, I think we've reached the podcast saturation point. Now we're just watching someone trying to get rich in real time. That's the entertainment. But there's a question that's been floating around, and I think I've figured it out. Is Bobby Altoff just a common gold digger, or is she an industry plant? And what the fuck does that mean anyway?
How much money do you have?
A significant amount.
How much?
Guess.
Could you buy me a Lamborghini right now
Yeah.
and not think about it? It wouldn't hurt you financially if you just bought me a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Will you do that?
And we'll see where it goes.
You didn't buy me a plane ticket to come here today.
Well, it's your podcast, not mine.
Yeah, your best friend bought me a plane ticket.
Yeah. So?
He has more money than you.
Yeah. He has fucking 50 times more money than me. What are you talking about?
I just wanted you to know that, if you didn't know that. But you have other things.
Yeah, I got the houses. I've got planes.
Oh, you have planes.
I got
That's
two.
way cooler than yachts. I don't know
Oh,
why
for
I didn't
sure.
ask you that.
Yeah, because
Wait, so you don't fly economy?
No.
You don't know what a non-stop flight is?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, well, you have something that Drake doesn't. He doesn't know what a non-stop flight is because he's poor compared to you, though. So
I'm going to send your daughter a voice note right now to your phone.
Mm-hmm. She's 1.
Hey, Concrete. This is Drake just wishing you a happy birthday. Guess things weren't set in stone, right? For these plans, because
Can you send her some money?
Mom missed it to come interview me, but later on in life, you'll hear this and you'll know that hopefully this goes somewhere for her.
Can you send her some money?
And I'm going to send you
How much?
$100 because that's what your mom said meant the most to her. Because
To
I
me.
asked her, I said she could have anything for you. And she said that
Please give her more
$100
than
was the
that.
pinnacle.
The next time we do a podcast, we'll do it on my plane.
That would be really cool.
That's a deal.
And then also, can we do another time where I just go on your plane?
Maybe.
Like somewhere cool, like the Cayman Islands?
Maybe.
That could be fun.
Yeah, take the kids down to the Caymans.
Yeah. Or leave them at home. That'd be fun too.
That'd be fun too.
And then bring all your single NBA players. You have a lot of money.
It depends. What's a lot of money to you?
Your cookies are done. Well, Mark, you're a very stingy billionaire.
Thanks.
You haven't offered me anything today.
Nope.
Nope.
I've offered to help you.
That's true.
I've offered to help you.
Okay.
And since I don't do
It's just like you
manifest,
could-
I didn't like barge in on your manifesting, so you get all the manifest energy.
Okay.
That's helping.
Okay. But you could just help way easier. You could give me $1 billion right now and it probably wouldn't even affect you.
Yeah, it would.
Fine, $5 million. We'll go small. But I was excited when you followed me on Instagram. I was really excited, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, why? Just tell me why, and then we can go. Say something
What do you
nice.
mean? You have so many followers.
Okay, but say something nice about, like you were excited
Because so many people like you. And I was like, oh my God.
So this all started when a cringy TikToker, when a TikToker made the transition into podcasting earlier this year and basically through a strange sequence of events went viral for her awkward as fuck style and super famous guests, except no one had really heard of her. Now, before I give you my thoughts on who she really is and what she's really doing, this is how it all went down.
She has more than 1 million followers on Instagram, 5 million on TikTok, and she currently holds the #2 spot in comedy podcasts. And Bobby Althoff says she's just getting started.
I got the idea in April to start a podcast. And I've always kind of done this character, which is just dry humor. And I was like, I'm just going to bring her along for a podcast.
So when you interview these people, you're not Bobby necessarily.
No, yeah, I'm just like a really dry person.
And how rich are you now?
Oh, I'm making way more money than I was 3 weeks ago. So yeah.
You seem to be very not in character right now. Are we going to be not in character for this? We didn't know what we were expecting.
Yeah, we don't know what we're getting.
What do you want?
Normal, I guess, unless you want to. I don't know, whatever you do. So your rise to fame.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you were doing mom TikTok stuff. How big were you on that? And like,
I think I got to like 3.4 million followers on TikTok with like awkward mom stuff.
the fascination with, I think, a little bit for the general public, myself included, is you seemingly just came out of nowhere with gigantic guests. And that's why people are joking about the plant. But then I was like, maybe she is a plant. So how did you get these humongous people so quickly?
I used to like see your clips of your podcast and be like, I wish I could have a podcast that big. And I like, without even having a podcast, I thought that. I was like, that'd be so cool. And then I was like, I'm going to start a podcast because I heard you could make a lot of money from having a podcast. And I was like, that'd be fun.
Oh, so this is easy game. This is just be like, I want a big podcast.
Yeah,
exactly.
Slide in Drake's DM.
Exactly.
And shoot your shot.
No, but
It
but then
works.
I went like all in on it though. I'm a mom, so I had to like I would drive to LA once a week and find people that I'd pay $300 to be on my podcast.
Doing
and,
this
like,
same
same style. But it was hard to get guests. First, I was just running through every influencer that was mutuals with me. And I'm like, do you want to be on it? People are like, no, like or just leave me on red. A lot of people left me on red.
Oh, now they're mad.
Oh, they reply now, actually.
Of course they do.
They're like, yeah, I'll take you up on that. I'm like, oh.
Well, you're like the
I
hottest
have
thing
Drake.
going right now with your interviews,
But
right?
so many people didn't want to do it at first. Obviously, I get it because like it's, I was nothing and it was like whatever. But from every single video I had done, I had got like 1 or 2 viral clips from it. Not viral, but like enough that I was like, okay, like this is like something that I'm going to keep trying at.
So if you haven't figured it out yet, she's a straight up gold digger. Now, there's a difference between being ambitious and industrious and being a gold digger, obviously. And before all of you start with the whole, she's just playing a character, that might be the case. But it's so clearly based off her real desires. She's created this character that has this direct attitude and awkwardness where she's not afraid to say what she's really thinking. It's basically Bobby's alter ego. She was so sick of grinding it out day to day as a mother of 2 trying to get rich that she thought, fuck it, I'm going to lay it all down and just be real. Let's interview rich and famous men and beg for money, squeeze them for whatever I can, and it'll be funny, right? But more importantly, I'll get rich along the way. All this bitch talks about is money. Buy me this, give me that. How much money do you have? And she masks it all behind this so-called character she's playing. Now, let's address this industry plant business. First of all, credit to her for going for it and putting herself out there. Most self-made people who become successful at anything start by taking a risk and putting their hand up. For now, let's just forget the fact that her husband is a software engineer who's published 2 books. True story. So I don't think she's an industry plant in that sense. However, having said that, once she did break through with the Drake interview and literally signed with a high-profile talent agency overnight, everything from there has been curated and planned by her team of 15 people, and no doubt it's growing. In the Mark Cuban interview, he dropped her agent's name a couple of times because he knows her agent and obviously hooked everything up. So in a sense, she kind of is an industry plant, but she did the groundwork herself and got lucky.
What's your big goal for your podcast?
I want to become an actress one day.
You want to be an actress?
Yeah.
And how are you
This is
gonna
just this is just me getting there, putting my name out there in the world.
So you create visibility and do your thing.
That's the smarter way of putting it, yes.
Yeah. So
yeah.
There you go.
So
and have you had any, well, it's tough right now with the strike going on.
Yeah, so no luck happening right now. We're just
focused on.
Have you had
any acting jobs so far?
Never.
Never yet?
No.
No?
Why, you think I'm a good actress?
I think you could be, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love doing acting.
You act.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Cry.
Yeah.
Cry.
No, I can't cry like
Cry
that.
right now.
I can't.
Laugh.
Yeah, no. See, you just got to be in the character. You got to understand. No,
All
but
right.
I've done a lot of the cameo stuff. TJ, your agent has gotten me a lot of great stuff.
On TV?
TV and movies, yeah.
You've been in movies?
Yeah, a lot of
What
them.
movies?
Sharknado 3, I played the president.
Oh my God. Wow.
The thing that interests me the most is the idea that I started this video with, that we've well and truly reached that podcast saturation point. Some of you might say we reached that tipping point years ago. You might be right, but what Bobby Altoff represents to me might be better described as the post-saturation point where the podcasting universe has become so exhausted that this is what it's come down to. Watching some random chick get rich in real time. And the worst part is she's open and honest about it. She's going around doing interviews explaining step by step what she did and what she's doing. And look, if that's what you're into, good luck to you. Enjoy. But I feel like I'm a dying breed of podcast listener who actually wants to be entertained. I want to hear funny stories or learn about random concepts. I even enjoy a bit of internet drama here and there. But this is just straight up gold digging. The only thing worse than Bobby Altoff are all her simps in the comments saying, "You go, girl, you deserve it." What does she deserve and why does she deserve it exactly? Fucking twats. Now, comparisons are being made between her and Zach Galifianakis from Between Two Ferns, which is funny as hell. But what people seem to forget is that Zach's actually a comedian. He's actually funny. He's not grifting his way to fame. He's got well thought out, well structured bits that he puts together with his famous guests, and he has that same awkward, no filter vibe that Bobby does. The difference is his goal is to entertain us first and foremost, and he does an awesome job of it. What Bobby's doing is just awkward cringe, not awkward funny, and her motivations are crystal clear.
Are you making a lot of money yet?
I haven't actually seen any of the money because, like, you know, it takes a minute to see money.
Because you got a team of 20 people.
Yeah, 15 people are
out.
taking their bite out of your fucking pie now. They're all eating, bruh. They're all
No, that's
eating
not why.
good.
It's just that it takes like 30 days. Well, they're going to take their part, but even then, I think it'll still be a lot of money. I'm waiting on like TikTok to give me any money right now because like people think I'm joking about being in debt. And I'm like, I'm not. Like, I put every penny I had into this podcast. Like,
No offense, but like it doesn't look like an overly like huge production.
Because I was traveling to every single thing, and like nannies are like, and then hotels, like flights, everything. I've been just like, even to come here, I just spent like $2,000. Like, that's money that I don't have yet. I put it on a credit card.
Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Remember, best comment gets pinned. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button and become a subscriber so you can keep up to date with all my latest uploads. I'll chat to you guys soon. See you in the next one.
I just want to test if maybe my personality changes with money. Will you put $1 million in my bank account? And
no, because then you didn't earn it. It's completely different.
And I will just test to see if my personality is still good.
Well, we can pretend.